Good evening news. I am Babatunde Fanawopo. Tension and apprehension have gripped Rivers State following the initiation of impeachment proceedings against Governor Siminalayi Fubara and Deputy Governor Professor Ngozi Odu by the State House of Assembly. The Martin Amewule-led Assembly loyal to the former governor and Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, served Fubara and Professor Odu with a notice of alleged gross misconduct, signaling an imminent impeachment process. The notice listing the alleged misconduct sent to the Speaker was a sequel to a letter dated March 14, 2025, signed by 26 members of the Assembly. The Speaker, Amawule, sent the notice in two separate letters. He signed yesterday and addressed to the Governor and his deputy. The development has escalated the political tension in the state as some major groups had threatened a crisis in the region if Fubara is impeached. Recently, the Ijaw National Congress, the Ijaw Youth Council, and other groups expressed strong opposition to the potential impeachment of Fubara, who is of Ijaw descent. They warned that such actions could lead to unrest, emphasizing their commitment to defending the governor's mandate and cautioning that its removal might destabilize the region and affect all production. And while an explosion has rocked a section of the Trans-Niger pipeline in Bodo community in Gona local government area of Rivers State, the explosion occurred near the Bodo-Boni road under construction. The thick black smoke was seen billowing into the atmosphere, with a raging fire spreading fast into the mangrove from a video that emerged. The TMP is a federal transport line that supplies oil to the Boni export terminal in Rivers State. Over 400 filling stations of independent oil marketers located at border communities have remained shut since 2019, based on the federal government's directive to halt the smuggling of petrol out of Nigeria to neighboring nations. While the Nigeria Customs Service had declared that the stations would still be shut, oil marketers decried the closure of the facilities due to the revenue losses caused by the development. The customs insisted that it would continue to enforce the closure of the stations and sustain the crackdown on fuel smugglers through its operation Whirlwind, especially due to the recent intense petrol scarcity in neighboring Niger Republic. The Nigeria Customs Service, through its spokesperson Abdullahi Maiwada, declared that the NCS would not give room to smugglers, stressing that the agency had been confiscating smuggled petrol across the country's borders. Marketers said their members who own filling stations in the border communities have been out of business since 2019, when former President Muhammadu Buhari banned the supply of petrol within 20 kilometers of the border. Nigeria shares frontiers with countries like Niger Republic in the north, Benin Republic in the west, Cameroon in the east, and Chad in the north. The Nigerian Air Force has said a precision airstrike against Boko Haram enclaves in Chikide and the Gbewa in Borno State has inflicted heavy losses on the terrorist group. Acting on credible intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance reports, the NAV said it targeted key insurgent hideouts within the rugged Mandara Mountains, where notorious terrorist leader Ali Ungulde and his fighters were believed to be meeting. A statement by the Deputy Director of Public Relations and Information, Group Captain Kabiru Ali, said surveillance confirmed the presence of a fortified command hub with solar-powered installations, prompting the service to execute a surprise night attack. acting on credible intelligence, ISR data, reports indicated that the notorious terrorist leader Ali Ngulde and his fighters had planned a high-level engagement at the location. Ali said the operation destroyed key logistics and command structures, igniting large fires and neutralizing scores of terrorists. According to the statement, the successful execution of this night operation underscores the NAV's growing dominance in both day and night air power capabilities, proving that insurgents can no longer operate under the cover of darkness. Ali added that through relentless precision strikes and sustained air operations, the NAV remains committed to utilizing its formidable air power to neutralize terrorist networks and restore lasting peace to the region. Still on security, the governor of Anambra State, Chukwuma Soludo, has said the call for the release of the indigenous people of Biafra leader, Nnamdi Kanu, has no connection to insecurity in the southeast. Speaking during a media chat to mark his third year in office, Soludo, who has been advocating for Kanu's release, stated that the issue should be viewed separately from security concerns in the region. According to Soludo, his call for Kanu's freedom is based on the need for broader discussions about the future of the Igbo people, while insecurity in the region stems from criminal activities. He also accused Simon Ekpa, a self-proclaimed IPOB leader, of hijacking the situation and turning it into a killing spree. Simon Ekpa, who claimed to have succeeded Nnamdi Kanu as IPOB leader, was arrested in Finland last year by local police on charges of inciting terrorism. Kanu has been in the custody of the Department of State Services since 2021, following his arrest in Kenya by the Nigerian government, as many have argued that his release could help curb insecurity in the region. Former Minister of Petroleum Resources, Diezani Alinsi Madueke, has approached the Federal High Court in Abuja, begging it to stop the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, from selling off all the property seized from her. The erstwhile minister, in the legal action she filed through a team of lawyers led by Chief Mike Ozekome, SAN, equally prayed the court for an order directing the anti-graft agency to retrieve from persons, natural or corporate, to whom it had sold off any of the property. She told the court that the EFCC had, pursuant to a notice it issued in 2023 and acting in breach of a fundamental right to fair hearing, commenced a public sale by auction asset linked to her. According to the ex-petroleum minister, the anti-graft agency based its decision to sell off the property on final forfeiture orders it obtained from various courts in the country. She told the court that despite EFCC's claim that final order of forfeiture was granted against her seized property, she was neither served with any charge and proof of evidence in respect of any criminal proceeding, nor summons relating to any matter pending before any court. The applicant accused the anti-graft agency of obtaining forfeiture orders against her through misrepresentations and concealment of facts. And on to sports. Nigeria captain William Trust Ekong is confident that Super Eagles striker Victor Osimhen will be playing in the English Premier League next season despite widespread interest from clubs across Europe. Trust Ekong revealed his expectations for his international teammates' future while discussing the striker's options. Osimhen has been in sensational form in Turkey, netting 20 goals and providing 4 assists in 22 Super League matches since joining the club on loan. His performances have attracted interest from several Premier League clubs, with Chelsea, Arsenal and Manchester United all previously linked with the Nigerian international. Trust Econ confirmed Osimhen's Premier League ambitions while highlighting the striker's well-known affinity for one English club in particular. While Osimhen's future remains the subject of intense speculation, Galatasaray are reportedly preparing to make his loan move permanent. According to reports, the Turkish club are set to trigger the striker's €75 million release clause, a significant reduction from the €120 million figure quoted last year. Despite Galatasaray's interest in making the deal permanent, Osimhen himself has remained non-committal about his future. And on the foreign scene, thousands of people in central Ukraine were left without electricity following a countrywide Russian attack involving more than 130 drones that damaged critical infrastructure. Kyiv and Moscow have recently escalated cross-border drone and missile attacks despite a US-led proposal for a 30-day ceasefire to Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The governor of the Zaporizhia region, which the Kremlin claims as part of Russia, said around 3,000 people were cut off from the grid following the attack, which is said damaged critical infrastructure. The governor of the neighboring Dnipropetrovsk region, on which Russian forces have been closing in, said the barrage resulted in a fire at another critical infrastructure facility. In Kyiv, authorities said the debris from a downed Russian drone landed in the courtyard of a school at the beginning of the school day. Pupils were said were in shelters at the time of the attack, they added. The Ukrainian Air Force said it had downed 63 out of 137 Russian drones. Russia's defense ministry meanwhile said that 46 Ukrainian drones used in overnight attacks had been neutralized. The strikes, which targeted several regions of Russia, wounded 6 people, according to local authorities. The attacks came shortly before Russian President Vladimir Putin and US President Donald Trump were due to hold talks on a potential ceasefire to the fighting in Ukraine. And with that, we've come to the end of the evening news on OSBC TV. Join us at 7 for the major report. Good evening.